All right, let's dive into a moment that I'm pretty sure every creator, every innovator knows all too well. You've done all the hard work. You've done the research, you've gathered the insights, and now you're just staring at this mountain of data. The big question is, right? How in the world do you turn all that information into a brilliant, actionable idea? This is that moment, right here. The point where all your momentum can either just fizzle out or it can totally skyrocket. You're swimming in user quotes, analytics, observations, but a clear path forward, it feels just out of reach. It's that classic feeling of being overwhelmed by the very stuff that's supposed to be inspiring you. We can actually give this a name, the post-research problem. It's that creative wall you slam into right after the discovery phase is done. You know, you can feel it, there's so much potential hiding in all that research, but you just can't figure out how to unlock it. It is an incredibly common and, let's be honest, super frustrating place to be. But what if I told you there's a key, a specific key that gets you right through that wall? That key is a part of the design thinking process, and it's called the define stage. Now, this is not about jumping to solutions, not yet. It's the absolutely crucial and honestly often overlooked step of just stepping back to make sure you're aiming at the right target. It's all about finding that little bit of clarity in all the chaos. And the magic word here is framing. You're framing a problem statement. See, the goal isn't to find the answer right away. It's about articulating the perfect question, one that really means something to your user and is totally actionable for your team. So what the define stage really does is it gives your whole team a shared mission. You're taking all those fuzzy user needs and you're turning them into a concrete design challenge. You're building a goal statement that everyone can get behind, and you're setting the rules of the road for brainstorming. This creates focus, alignment, and a super clear path forward. Okay, so how do we actually do this? Well, it all comes down to a deceptively simple tool. Just a three-word phrase that can completely reframe your team's entire perspective and, believe me, unlock a flood of possibilities. That's it, seriously. How might we? These three little words are the engine of the define stage. They take a nagging problem and they magically transform it into a question that just invites exploration and optimism. It's such a subtle shift in language, but it is so, so powerful. So why is this phrase so effective? What's the magic here? Well, first, it automatically turns a problem into an opportunity. It's not, we can't, it's how might we? See the difference? Second, it invites everybody to think broadly and creatively. And this is crucial because it's just a question. There's no right or wrong answer at this stage. That frees the entire team from that fear of saying the wrong thing. But you know, not all how might we questions or HMWs are created equal. The way you phrase your HMW can either box your team's thinking in, or it can just launch it into the stratosphere. And the secret? It all comes down to a single word. The action word you choose, the verb, is everything. It completely sets the tone and the direction for all the brainstorming that comes next. It's the difference between asking your team to just analyze a situation versus asking them to invent a brand new one. And this just illustrates the point perfectly. Look at this. Asking, how might we describe the issue? Well, that's just going to lead to more reports, more analysis. But asking, how might we design a better experience? Boom, that immediately sparks ideas for solutions, for prototypes, for real change. One looks backward, the other looks forward. So let's talk about some power verbs. Verbs from what we'd call the apply category, like solve. They frame a really direct challenge. This tells the team, our goal here is to find a functional, effective solution to this specific problem. It's all about application. Now, contrast that with a verb like imagine. This word does something totally different. It just throws the doors wide open to blue sky thinking. It's basically giving your team permission to dream up the wildest possibilities without any constraints. This is pure creation. And then you've got a verb like develop, which kind of sits in that sweet spot right in between. It prompts the team to think about building something, structuring something tangible, moving a cool idea toward a constructed reality. So the bottom line here is you've got to choose your verbs wisely. If you want to generate the most innovative, forward-thinking ideas, you really need to focus on verbs from these apply and create categories, words like solve, produce, design, and of course, imagine. Okay, so you've used all these awesome power verbs to craft several strong how might we questions. That's great. But, now you have a new problem. Which one do you actually pursue? The final step is a really quick and effective way to test your options. You don't have to guess. You can actually sort of prototype your questions. Just take each HMW and run a super short time box brainstorming session on it, like 5 minutes per question. The right path is going to become obvious, I promise. You just pursue the HMW that generates the most energy, the most excitement, and, most importantly, the best ideas from your team. So that leaves us with just one final thought. I want you to look at the biggest challenge sitting on your desk right now. Instead of seeing it as this massive roadblock, try framing it as a question. What's the one how might we that could completely transform that problem into a world of possibility?